This is the Altgens-6 photo, a familiar sight to all of us kooks, taken by James Altgens, and it is of interest for many reasons, but usually the most interest is generated by Doorway Man. And in my view, this is unquestionably an altered image. Doorway Man is actually Joe Molina with Billy Lovelady's face pasted on top of it. I have no doubt whatsoever. Maybe a little doubt about it being Joe Molina, not much there, but it's certainly an altered image. But if you try to tell a lone nutter it's an altered image, they will bitch and they will whine and they will say, oh, but there was no time to make an alteration. This went right out on the wires. And that's what James Altgens told Richard Trask, too. This is from the Trask book, chapter 13. Altgens remembers that when the bulletin was being readied, someone grabbed my camera, removed the film, and took it in to process it, because they wanted me on the telephone reporting what I saw. We did an extraordinary job, because within 20 minutes of the assassination, we had a picture rolling on the wire, and that's good. And that is good because it'll take you almost 20 minutes to develop the film and print the print and then put it wet into their wire machine. Anyway, back to this. All the wires were connected together, which means that they got it in Africa and London, all over the world, at the same time that people got it in the US of A. It was fantastic. I saw some of the cable photos that came back in that night, and one or more of the pictures I had taken were on page 1 of many of the world newspapers. The photo caption of the motorcade under fire, one of 3 Altgens photos sent out on the Wire Photo Network, read, DN2, Dallas, Texas, November 22nd, Kennedy shot in Dallas. President John F. Kennedy was shot today just as his motorcade left downtown Dallas. He was taken to Parkland Hospital. Secret Service men are looking from where the shots came from. AP Wire Photo. CE 161303 STF JWA 1963. The AP photo code at the sign-off indicated that Carl E. Lind Sell was the caption writer. 6 indicated that the day was Friday, 1303, that it was sent at 1:03 p.m., and the photo was taken by staff member James W. Altgens. And how does Trask know all this? Well, you look at the footnote, and it's because Altgens told him so. So, to judge by what Trask put in his book, the only source for this is James Altgens. Now, of course, we know the photograph went out on the wires on the 22nd. We know it appeared in the late editions of the newspapers. But we don't know precisely what time it went out on the wires, except based upon what James Altgens says. That is, unless you can find that photo with that message on it. And I was not able to find it with that code on it. I was not able to find such a copy of the photo. But I did find this one, which is the Altgens 4 photo, which was taken before the Altgens-6 photo. This was one of the photos Altgens took that went out on the wires at the same time, or in sequence, of course, not exactly simultaneously. And this one is DN3. If you remember, the Altgens photo, the Altgens-6 photo, is called DN2. Now, if we have any doubt about the designations of the photos, we have another. This is a press photo. This is the back of a version of the Altgens-6 that was sent out on the wires. And it identifies it as being the same photo as DN2 that was sent out on 11/22/63. And then it was sent out again as DN5 on 11/22/63. But DN2 is clearly what the Altgens-6 is being called, and it would make sense that DN3 would be the next photo sent. So apparently the Altgens-6 photo went out first, and then this one went out second. And this one also has a date code, or not a date code, but it has the same code on there, but it's not the same number. It's CE161315. And according to the Trask decoding ring, or whatever, that means that DN3 went out at 1:15, not 1:03. I do not believe that they waited 12 minutes to send out the second photo. The Altgens-6 photo, DN2, must have been sent out at just before 1:15, just before DN3 was sent out. So it means they've got 12 minutes more than the official story gives us. And so if what Altgens says is true, then alteration is impossible, because he says 20 minutes after the assassination, but the timing that Trask gives from interpreting what Altgens tells him, it's 30 minutes after the assassination. But even 30 minutes after the assassination, he's probably not at the AP office before 12:40. It's probably going to take 20 minutes to develop the film, print from the negative, and then develop the print, and then put it on the machine. That's probably going to take 20 minutes. So there's no time for an alteration if this story is true. But if they've got another 12 minutes or another 10 minutes, then there is time for alteration. There isn't time for a good alteration. There's a time for a rush job alteration. And that's what this is. This is a rush job. This is part of Billy Lovelady's face pasted onto Joe Molina, but Joe Molina has turned to his left. You can see the chin is turned to the left, and they don't have all of Billy Lovelady's face here. It's just his face above the mouth, so you end up without a lower left face. And I could get into it a little more. I suppose the shirt, it's not a shirt, it's Joe Molina's jacket, and they did a hack job trying to make it look like it wasn't a jacket. And I don't want to get too far off into why they did it this way. I think I know why. But I just want to, this is about the timing here. And that's why it's a shitty alteration, because they only had a couple minutes to do it. So he's probably a very skilled technician, but he didn't have enough time to do the job right. And there are other reasons also to think that Altgens was a conspiracy tool. This is just one of them. But this is one of them. He lied about how long it took to get that photo on the wire. There was intention here. The intention was to say it is impossible that it had been altered, but it was altered. And that makes Altgens a conspirator.